Hi.
Welcome to Rise with Rena.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Rise with Rena, and I have one of my favorite people in the whole world. You all are in for such a big treat. JL Bolton is in the house today, and you are not going to want to miss this a minute of this interview because her journey is incredible. JL and I bonded while we were selling cosmetics in a business together, and her life has been amazing, twists and turns, comeback stories. JL is going to inspire you today. So JL, welcome to our live.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
All right, so JL, we met and we both had pretty much perfect lives, right? And then you got handed a curveball. So tell me about this curveball and what happened.
So actually it was like the most wonderful weekend that you can imagine. It is every mother's perfect Mother's Day weekend where my son was graduating from college. He was getting his degree. That morning, we flew to Iowa. We were in the close to the front row. Watched him go across stage. That afternoon, we walked across the street to the stadium and watched him run his last collegiate track meet and won. It was so exciting. And then the next day was Mother's Day, and it was just heavenly. And then on Monday in the airport, to fly back to Virginia, I did get a phone call from my doctor. And after such a perfect weekend, she said, "You have breast cancer."
Oh
what
my
a
God.
way to ruin a weekend, right?
Oh my God, what a way to ruin a weekend. And I've had doctor's office call me. I will give you a doctor like one little point, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because they call on Friday at 4 o'clock saying, there's some abnormality with your test results. And you're like, are you sitting like seriously Friday at 4 o'clock? Like, I am not going to be able to talk to you for 72 hours and you're just going to let me
Yeah.
go in my head with an abnormality in my test result. But I had two doctors do that to me and I dumped them. I was like, what kind of dumbass, sorry, what kind of, dumb
Yeah.
technique is this? All right. So you got the phone call. So what's going through your head?
Honestly, I was not surprised. I had gone through a very life where I had to I lived in Virginia with my family, but my mother lived in Florida by herself, and we knew something was wrong. And I went down for 2 weeks and actually stayed for 6 weeks because we recognized that we had to move her to an assisted living facility. And it was the hardest thing that I had ever done in my life. It was 6 weeks of pure stress. And when I went to the doctor for a long overdue mammogram, they well, for any women who's on here listening, we know mammograms are no fun. They squeezed me not once, not twice, but 3 times. So I knew something was wrong. And I scheduled a biopsy right away. And then they said, "Oh, we'll call you this weekend with the results." And I'm like, "No, do not call me this weekend. I am watching my son graduate." So they waited till Monday, but still, yeah, it was a mess. So again, I was not surprised. I was just kind of putting it in the back of my head and compartmentalizing it. But one of the first things that my husband and I did is we chose to call a close family friend who happened to be a pastor, but who happened to be our therapist. And that day I learned that he had his PhD in health sciences. And he said, "I want you to eat like this for the next 2 months." And I was like, "What?" And that is when I learned that food can be your medicine. And so that is where my journey began.
Oh my God. Okay. What are the odds that you happen to call someone that like is a close friend that happens to be, because I've had these kind of little miracles happen in my
Yeah.
life going, I had an issue with renting my basement, and there was a team member that had been in my unit for 14 years that I had never connected with. And I just happened to have connected with her 6 months earlier and found out she worked for a real estate lawyer. Like,
Wow. Yeah.
what are the odds?
Yeah.
So, told you this is how you're going to eat. And I know you sent me this meal plan.
Right.
I've always thought food, because I come from Pakistan, and Pakistan, food is medicine. They don't do drugs. I mean,
Right.
you can
Yeah.
go into any pharmacy and buy anything you want. There's no prescription, nothing. So if you want to eat that poison, they're like, hey, go for it.
Wow.
But most people will do like food, rest. My grandmother was always like, drink water and sleep. Got a headache, drink water and sleep. Cold coming on, drink water and sleep.
Right.
That was her solution to everything. And she lived to 93 without health problems.
Wow.
So food is medicine. What did you learn?
Well, it was exactly what you're saying. It was also rest. He asked, can I stop working? He told me I should stop driving. This was all to reduce stress. He told me, make sure you get 7 to 9 hours every night. And by the way, your husband is going to cook all your meals. All of this was lifestyle medication. The reason he was to cook is because there is something about cooking with love. And that was part of my prescription. And so it was a beautiful thing. And, when he first introduced this to me, all I heard in my head is eat like this, rest, do all this de-stressing, do all this holistic stuff, and you're not going to need surgery. So I was sold. I was full in that day. I changed my eating habits. And there was the biggest 3 things was no sugar, no salt, and no processed food. And I was all over it. I was a beast about it because it's like, I am not having surgery. I've never had surgery in my life. The only reason I've ever gone to the hospital is to have 2 babies, and I'm not going to start now. So fast forward, I was very obedient, and my holistic guide told me, okay, it's been 2 months now. It's time to go back to your doctor and ask for a second MRI so you can prove that it's shrinking or it's gone. That is when life really hit. And that is when things kind of fell apart because my doctor said no. He said, no, you cannot have a second MRI. There is no reason to have second MRI. No matter how much I argued with him and said there are changes, then he said it's not protocol. And my holistic guide was ready to fight right alongside me and say, okay, we're going to have to start over with new doctors. We're probably going to have to pay out of pocket for an MRI. And you know what? I was mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just do this surgery and be done. And I'm not going to just do surgery. I'm going to be radical because I never want to have this conversation again. So I chose to do a bilateral mastectomy with reconstruction. And it was truly the best decision for me because what happened next, when I went for my post-surgery first appointment, I was not met with my surgeon. I was met with a PA. And this PA changed my life. An appointment that was finished in like 10 minutes because she just had to examine me and say, yes, you're healing properly. But she chose to ask me one question. She said, so what's your nutrition like? I exploded on her. I'm like, I changed this. I did this. I stopped working. I was resting. I was doing all the things. And she just quietly nodded. And she's like, you're onto something. So on the side, she was a health coach. And I'm like, what is a health coach? And why wasn't I taught this? And it's like, well, this isn't the way of Western medicine. And, this is just a side gig I have. Well, Rena, within the next week, I was enrolled at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York City to get my health coach certification. And here I am today, just an advocate to really talk to people about how holistic healing truly can change.
Wow, that's amazing, JL. So there's so many bits and pieces. So first, I want to kind of break down what JL said. Okay, she had a positive attitude. She had, I don't need surgery. She had, I'm going to overcome it. And y'all, your thoughts are also medicine. And they can help you or harm you. And then the other thing is, I am off of sugar and processed food, but God, I love myself. so that one I'm still thinking about, but there is something about like food doesn't taste good if it doesn't have all this gunk in it. And I will tell you, y'all, if you will just do it for a week, okay, just do it for a week. I'm not telling you the rest of your life, but do some of this stuff for a week and it will change your life. Amen. So JL, let me give you my little story. Y'all know I have 4 kids under 10. I go to a doctor's office. Now, I always had bad allergies. And I don't know if you remember, people always like, are you sick? Are you sick? No, I'm just, allergies and I'm stuffed up and everything. So go to a doctor's office. They were like, look, we'll go up your nose. We'll go into your sinuses. There's no air in there, whatever. We're going to scrape out everything, but we're at the base of the brain. So the brain doesn't like being jiggled like that, blah, 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 and then you'll come out and then we'll break the septum and reset it and all this. So they had this whole plan. And you guys, I have 4 kids under 10. They're going to go up my nose into my upper sinuses, mess with my brain, okay, for this. Guess what? I got off milk. Problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
I got off milk, okay?
Not
like
surprised.
I'm like sitting here, you were going to put a mom of 4 with potential brain issues,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead of saying, girl, you might be allergic to something.
Yeah. That's,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I got off of milk, and listen to this. Both,
yep.
For the first time in 20 years, I had air in this nostril, and I was just like,
wow.
I was like, I should start doing drugs. I can do both. But,
wow.
And no one's asked me if I'm sick again.
Right.
No one's, it's been life-changing. And I just came back from Zurich this past weekend in the snow blizzard storm.
Wow.
And I could eat milk and cheese there, but I was shocked, Jael. They had oat milk in a lot of their drinks. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, so you're going Europe, like dairy cows, they had oat milk and they had a lot of sheep cheese. And I was fine. Fine. If I had had that same meal here, I would have had, now it would have been just a calculated allergic reaction, but
wow.
I was just shocked. Okay. So food is nutrition, but tell me first a little bit about your diet, and then I'll jump in, and then what you learned at the Integrated Health Institute.
Well, something that I want to add is that, as you were saying, just try it for a week. You can change your taste buds. I was a chocoholic. I loved my sugar. I was the girl, thankfully I have a high metabolism rate, but I was the girl that would have ice cream every night before bed. I had chocolate everywhere. I had Hershey Kisses. I had Oreo cookies. I was all about the sugar. And
has good taste. Can you all tell?
And truly, when again, I just equated, okay, stop eating the bad stuff, eat the good stuff, no surgery. And so that's all that was in my head. And it's like, this is temporary, I'll get through it. But truly at the end of it, I changed my taste buds. I don't crave the sugar. And now that I know how bad it is for you and how addicting it is, it's more addicting than heroin and cocaine. And I just feel like so often we're just getting poisoned by the grocery store. And healthcare in this country is not healthcare, it's disease care. We go because we have
symptom care. It's just like, we'll treat the symptoms, but please be back next week.
Exactly.
And I listen to all my friends that go to the doctor, and it's like a 3-year process. They never stop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm glad you have that kind of free time, because that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's a business, unfortunately. Big pharma is a business. And our disease or our symptoms are part of that business. And so they don't necessarily want us to get well. So that's why we really have to take things into our own hands, for sure.
Yeah, they want to shake your brain instead of telling you, hey, you might have an allergy. Now, I was, like I said, in Zurich, and they have sugar, Jael, but not at this level.
Right.
And then someone just gave me some Turkish delight, and I looked at it, and I was expecting like a, like you get that jelly bean or the gel candy high. There's not that much sugar in it. I mean, it's sweet. Don't get me wrong. It's sweet, but all other cultures have sugar. It's either fruit sugar or some other kind of sugar, and they don't like mess it up. So, all right. What else in your gleaming wisdom have you learned, my love?
Well, some fun facts that I've learned is that 75% of all illness is self-induced. What? We're making ourselves sick. And then I want to say, I think 85% of, no, here it is. In America, Oops. And Raina, I'm not sure if you're still there because I no longer see you.
No, I put you on stage. So I'm like,
okay. I'm so sorry.
this was like the focus on you part. Okay. So I'm
Okay,
here.
'cause
I'm here.
that's
I'm just like, we're going to flip back and forth. So I'm here.
Yeah. So in America, at the age of 80, we have a 50% chance of having dementia. 50%. And I truly believe it's because of our lifestyle. And the good news is that only 20% is related to our genes. 80% is because of our lifestyle or our environment. So you can change, you can take control of your lifestyle. You can take control of your environment as long as you're motivated enough and you're disciplined enough. And that's where health coaching comes in, because I really feel like coaching is the bridge between information and transformation, because we can all get the information. We all know what's good for us and what's bad for us and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. But just to have someone that you can be accountable to, someone that's going to follow up with you, someone that is in your corner to cheer you on and to have you have your breakthroughs, that's when transformation truly happens. Okay, got it.
So my big thing,
Can't hear you.
I started during the pandemic going to yoga, and yoga was like my visualization time. But the reason I did it was I wanted ankle mobility. I wanted hip stability. And so I don't go to yoga to lose weight. I don't go to yoga, for whatever vanity metrics. I was like, at 80, I want to be able to eat, sit down, stand up, and travel the world.
Can you hear me at all?
And keep my mind sharp.
Nope.
But you're right. They call it SAD, right? SAD, the standard American diet. And it is sad. Go to any other country and no one eats like this. But JL is right. Okay, willpower will not work. Willpower will not work. Having a buddy in your corner or a coach is huge. Uh-oh, JL, you went blank. Did your camera turn off? Let me know if your camera came, because you're here, but I don't see a picture. Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay. All right. So you started coaching women, and I know you've had fabulous results. And I know you do these exclusive retreats that people are dying to get in. But tell me maybe a success story of coaching someone and a little bit of aha moments from your last retreat. JL? Oh, okay. Now you're unmuted. So can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? No.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
you.
Testing.
Good.
Oh, you can.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
No.
Okay.
Did I send you a text?
Nope, I can't hear you.
You talk while I figure it out. Okay, I'm sending you a text. Okay.
No.
All right, we're doing this the hard way. All right, go ahead. Okay. Now, can you hear me?
So, a story for my coaching clients. I would say, let me think. I'm starting to call my business the Well Now Life, just because I want to encourage people to get well now. Don't wait until you have a bad diagnosis, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, one of the chronic diseases. Don't wait for that start getting healthy now instead of later. I truly do look at my father's life, and he was a brilliant man. He was in the highest position in government. He worked for the Department of Agriculture. He traveled the world. He provided a great life for us as children growing up. Okay, good. We went. We went to. We traveled all over the place every summer, having vacations, and it was a great childhood. But what I recognized is when it was time for him to retire, he moved. He and my mom built their dream home. They moved to Melbourne, Florida, and it wasn't. It was about just 3 years after retirement that his body completely broke. And, my husband and I just looked at that and thought he was so wound up and so tightly wound with working for so many years. When he finally stopped, it's like his back went out, was like almost the first week that they moved away. And just health issue after health issue until it became very serious. And he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and then he was diagnosed with Lewy body disease, and then came prostate cancer. And my mom spent the last 11 years of his life being full-time caregiver. And I just think, in America, we're always taught go to school, get a good education, get that good job, and then climb that corporate ladder, and then have a family and take care of the family. And it's like, boom, boom, boom. You're constantly go, 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 go. And then when it's time to retire and enjoy your life, it's like your body is so broken because you sacrifice sleep. You've done the fast food thing. You're just so stressed and don't even realize it. And you haven't taken enough care of you. So your body over time, it's changing. And with the stress, prolonged stress can actually change your cellular structure. And so therefore your body can just break and fall apart. And so it just makes my heart ache to see so many people work so hard all their life. And then when it's time to retire and relax and really enjoy life, they're just going to the doctor every day, and different doctors every day, because they've got this terminal disease. So my story would be to just encourage people, take time to get well now. Take time to eat what you should be eating, sleep, don't sacrifice that sleep. Did you know that dementia is or lack of sleep is something that contributes to dementia? So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, a lot of the time people are like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Nope, you're
No,
gonna be dead
you'll be
quicker.
dead. Then you, yeah. Okay, can you hear me now?
Can't hear you.
No. Oh, shoot. This is like going nutso. Okay. Well, I'm talking. So, uh, hang on. I'm going to text you and hopefully I'll figure this out. Um, all right. We're going to get this fixed. There you go.
Okay, so the Lord really laid something on my heart about 2 years ago. And that was all the education that I received from doing my year-long course. I was just so enthusiastic about it. And I actually a girlfriend of mine who's an event planner planned this Nourish retreat. And it was just so relaxing. And she had little activities for us. And it just hit me. It's like, I could do a whole weekend of getting well now. And so I held my first retreat in December of 2024, and I handpicked who I wanted to come to my home. My husband was going to be out of town that weekend, and I called a couple of my cousins. I had my husband's cousin fly in from Houston, my cousin drive up from Fort Lauderdale, a girlfriend from Northern Virginia who happened to be a yoga instructor, and another cousin in Missouri who was a bodybuilder. And I thought, you know what, let's create something. And so I shopped for the whole weekend, and we did a plant-based diet the entire weekend. I advertised it as something that was going to be very spiritual. My background is Christianity, and so I chose to start the mornings with devotionals. I did have them relinquish their phones, so no cell phones. You were completely cut off. We started with devotionals. We then would do yoga. We would have little workshops, wellness workshops, where I would just give them information about eating properly. And then we would eat together and we would create together. Because again, food cooked with love, it actually affects your digestive system. And so we would get in the kitchen together, and I had planned out exactly what meals we would cook, and we would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We even included a boat ride because I had my boater's license. So it was really fun to go out on the water as well and just be relaxed. And what else? We did a walk in nature. And then my cousin, who is into bodybuilding, also talked about strength training for women over 50. And it was just really, really fulfilling. And I thought, wow, this is something. And they were so grateful and they were so excited about it. So I've decided that this is what I plan to do, is just keep holding retreats. So I have held another retreat, and then I also did a 1-day retreat, which was phenomenal. Gotcha.
Awesome. You have a boater's license?
Oh, can't hear you.
Oh, shoot.
I could hear you,
this.
and then it went away.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, hopefully they can hear me. Okay. I texted you one more question. So let's, so just check your phone real quick. Did you get the text?
Okay. So to talk a little bit about stress on your body. I was surprised when I had my cancer diagnosis that my holistic guide told me to stop driving. Driving is very stressful. I don't even think about it. I love to drive. I'm a road trip girl. But if you think about it, you're constantly having to be aware of what's in front of you, what's behind you, what's beside you. Is someone jumping out in the street? Is a car overtaking you? Constantly like this driving. And something as simple as driving. Working. And, I loved my job. I loved what I was doing. I worked a lot with people, but I'm also an introvert and people exhaust me. So I realized I had to take a step back from that. But as far as stress, the buildup, when you don't take time for you, it really can change things inside of your body if you're not having some kind of relief, some kind of me time. And so in my workshops, I do talk about techniques that you can use to relieve stress. And the number one, quickest, easiest one that you can do anytime, anywhere, is to breathe. Just breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. It's amazing. You can truly take yourself from fight or flight to rest and relaxation just with some deep breaths. And there's something that's called 4-7-8 breathing, where you inhale for 4, you hold for 7, and you exhale for 8. And do that for, I don't know, maybe about 4 or 5 rounds. But also diaphragmatic breathing. When we come into this world as babies, we breathe through our diaphragm, and you can watch a baby breathing and you'll see their little bellies rising and falling. But as we grow and become adults, we just breathe in our chest, and it's a lot shorter. Well, breathing from your diaphragm is a lot healthier. So when you inhale, have your belly expand, and as you exhale, have it contract. And just do that nice deep breathing. And I love to add essential oils to that, where you can like inhale some peppermint or some eucalyptus or some lemongrass or just whatever floats your boat. But I know peppermint helps to clear your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I heard you say I'm here, but now I can't hear you again.
Oh, shoot.
And there's my dog. Nope. And I see that it says mute on your end. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Okay, now I can't hear you. Nope.
Wrap it up with final thoughts. So let me know kind of you want to leave the viewers with?
So, just to give you some final thoughts, one of my favorite quotes is by Wendell Bailey, and it says, "We are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to our health, and we are treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to our food." Funny thing, when we have a pet and they're sick and we take them to the vet, what's the first thing they ask? What did your dog eat? When we go to the doctor, they rarely ask, what have you been eating? So really start paying attention. What are you putting into your body? And as part of my retreat, we really explore the 7 pillars of lifestyle medication, which are having to do with, I actually use the acronym WELL Now, where the W is way of being. What are your thoughts? What are going into your head? But also your physical habits, smoking, alcohol. What do you do around those things? Then the E is energy movement. And people have a love-hate relationship with exercise. But again, we can find something because your body wants to move. The L is lifestyle nutrition. And when I say lifestyle nutrition, it is not a diet just to try for a week. It is a lifestyle change. I had no clue that after my 2 months of eating that way, and I'm done with cancer, I figured I'd go back to the way I ate. But you know what? How often do you hear that someone who has had cancer, they get it again? It's because they didn't change anything. So I chose to change and make a lifestyle change. So lifestyle nutrition. And then the second L is love relationships, community. We all need community. Community is immunity. And I'll tell you, my mom, after my dad passed away, we started noticing just memory lapses and things like that. She was so active in her community, but 2020 hit, she was cut off. She was all alone. And loneliness contributes to depression, and loneliness and depression contribute to memory loss. Okay, so then the other N, or WELLN, now, that stands for oh goodness, nervous system regulation, and that is the stress. And the O, of course, is oneness with spirit. It's been proven when you believe in a higher power, you live longer. And then the W is winding down, and that is your sleep. So that's the Well Now model.
Awesome. Can you hear or no? No. God. Okay. Well, thank you, JL. Thank you. And we will wrap this up and start. But anyways, thanks everybody for watching. I don't know what happened to my mic, but I hope everything goes well.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Rise with Rena.